Christmas is approaching fast. That means getting together with the family next to the fireplace, sharing cookies and milk, or making fun memories. It also means getting up in front of the TV and watching your favorite holiday specials or movies. We all have our favorites, and one of my must-watches every year is the Hey Arnold Christmas special. Hey Arnold has always been one of my absolute favorite Nick shows, and its holiday specials are among some of the show's best episodes. The crew really knew how to knock it out of the park with heartwarming stories. Arnold's Christmas made its Nickelodeon premiere on Wednesday, December 11th, 1996. The episode was written by the late Steve Vixton and directed by Jamie Mitchell. It opens a few days before Christmas with Phoebe asking Helga about what she thinks makes Christmas special. True to her character, Helga enthusiastically proclaims that Christmas is only about the presents and getting whatever you could possibly ask for. Phoebe rejects that statement and proclaims that Christmas is all about giving and sharing with others. Completely ignoring her, Helga walks up to a storefront displaying a pair of Nancy Spumoni snow boots that she must have. Unfortunately, the city is sold out of the hot ticket items, so the gift isn't a guarantee. Helga's not the only one struggling for the holiday, as Gerald doesn't know what to get his family members. There's a great joke I love here where Gerald mentions that he's getting everyone a tie for Christmas, even his little sister Timberly. Arnold then tells Gerald that gifts should be unique for every person, which I wholeheartedly agree with. Back at the boarding house where Arnold and his grandparents live, everyone is picking out their secret Santa slips. Oscar Kokoschka, being the prankster he is, puts his name on all the slips thinking it's funny. When the real slips are sorted out, Arnold is the one tasked with getting Mr. Wynn his present. Noticing that Mr. Wynn is usually sad around the holidays, Arnold goes to talk to him privately about his feelings towards Christmas. It is here that Mr. Wynn reveals he used to live in another country with his baby daughter, Mai. Unfortunately, his home country was in the midst of a big war, and the fight was inching closer to his home. There was no choice but for Mr. Wynn and his family to evacuate the country. Due to many citizens trying to flee the country at once, Mr. Wynn was not able to board the helicopter and had to sacrifice his daughter to the authorities. Once he was able to make it out of the country, Mr. Wynn moved to the location Mai was said to be living in, but he could never find her. His only wish is to see her again, and Arnold is moved by his story. Mr. Wynn's backstory is very similar to the real-life capture and fall of Saigon, which ended the Vietnam War in 1975. The creator of the show, Craig Bartlett, said that the inspiration for the Vietnam aspect of the story came from Vixton, who was wanting to push the show to new heights. Bartlett brought in Bowen Coleman, a Vietnamese refugee, to voice Mr. Wynn and provide insight on how the story should be told. In the next scene, Gerald ridicules Arnold after he tells him that he wants to find Mai for Christmas and that it would be the best gift he could give Mr. Wynn. There's only one problem. It's the day before Christmas, and it would be difficult to find one person out of the thousands in Hillwood. Arnold doesn't give up though and goes with Gerald to the Federal Office of Information. Upon entering, it looks like everyone's already off work for the holidays, but the department supervisor, Mr. Bailey, is still hard at work. Arnold tells Mr. Bailey about his request and he is reluctant to fulfill it, being that it's Christmas Eve and it is unknown how long it could even take to find her. Arnold and Gerald offer to complete Mr. Bailey's Christmas shopping for him while he looks for Mai. He tells the kids they must find everything on the list or no deal. Arnold and Gerald do just that. Well, almost. The one thing they can't find? The Nancy Spumoni snow boots. They look high and low and are just about laughed out of town by store employees. They've come to a dead end it seems, but Helga's been racking her brain trying to figure out what to get Arnold for Christmas too. While walking home from the mall, Helga passes by Arnold and Gerald and overhears them talking about unsuccessfully finding Mai for Mr. Wynn. Gerald tries to lift up Arnold's spirits by telling him that what he did is more important than a bunch of presents and a pair of snow boots. Surely Mr. Wynn would appreciate the trouble Arnold went through just to find his daughter, I assume. When Helga walks into her home, she is given Nancy Spumoni snow boots by her parents. At first, she is elated and begins dancing with joy in the snow. It is when she sees Arnold's shopping list on the ground that she realizes she has the one thing Arnold needs to give his family the best Christmas ever. After contemplating on which moral ground to take, she decides that even though she has what she wanted the most, Arnold doesn't, and she gives the boots to Mr. Bailey as he's about to leave his office. He almost refuses to return the favor since it's so late, but gives in after Helga pleads the true meaning of Christmas, adding that Arnold may never believe in miracles again if finding Mai is a failure. On the other hand, Arnold goes home defeated, unable to go to sleep when Mr. Win's story is replaying in his head. The next morning, everyone is opening their presents and notices Mr. Win doesn't have one. He says it's no big deal, and just as Arnold is about to tell him about his gift, the doorbell rings unexpectedly. Grandpa answers the door thinking it's a prank, but it happens to be Mai. Mr. Win reunites with his daughter and the rest of the boarding house is in awe. Arnold questions how this miracle happened and Gerald tells him not to make sense of it, and that a Christmas angel is looking out for him. The episode ends with Helga standing outside the boarding house whispering,
"Merry Christmas, Arnold."
Man, this episode is just brilliant and I can't help but choke up every time I watch it. I've watched this episode yearly for about the past 12 years or so, and it does not get any easier. This has got to be one of the most touching classic Christmas cartoons I've seen, especially from the 90s. It truly encapsulates what the holiday is really about, being with family, friends, and giving to each other, which is exactly what was preached at the beginning of the episode. And it's just wonderful to see all the major players in this special change by the end, mainly Helga. This episode was the last one produced for season 1, and for the majority of the season, Helga's been portrayed as rude, self-serving, and just plain mean. Yes, it's been established that Helga's had a crush on Arnold since episode 1, but it's here that we fully understand just how much Helga cares for Arnold. Just think back to how Helga acted in the last 19 episodes. Could you see that Helga giving away her Nancy Spumoni snow boots? In my opinion, this is as much Helga's episode as it is Arnold's, and it gave her a layer of characterization that I think she needed. At the time this episode premiered, it was rare to see a wartime backstory this deep in children's cartoons. Nickelodeon was actually hesitant about the story's content and almost pulled the episode from production. Executives thought kids wouldn't find the war story interesting enough until one of them showed a rough cut of the episode to their child, who asked if the episode was what Vietnam was about. It was then Nick saw the episode to completion. I have to mention, Jim Lang's score here is fantastic. I've always loved his approach to using jazz in the show, and the Christmas ambiance really fleshes out the show's jazzy soundtrack even further. Lang also uses more dramatic sounding pieces to great effect while Mr. Win is telling his story, which helps the audience feel the emotion the characters are feeling. Lastly, the reveal at the end couldn't have been done more perfectly. It's incredible! And that slow-mo shot as Mr. Win turns around to see Mai? Probably one of my favorite shots in this entire episode. Seriously, if you haven't added this episode to your annual Christmas watch list already, you definitely should. You won't regret it. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and check out my other videos. Later.